we've gone through not just the law enforcement part, but we've talked to YCAP, we've talked to mental health, we've gone through the sheriff's department, parole and probation. So we try to understand and educate. In turn, that will help the community understand what to do.
Welcome everyone to Yamhill County Truth Seeker Conversations in the Spirit of Truth. Today I'm very happy to welcome Kim Morris, who has taken on topics of child safety around McMinnville schools, among many other things. Welcome, Kim, and thank you for joining me.
Thanks for asking me.
What did you notice, and when did you notice it, when it comes to child safety around McMinnville schools?
Well, I think a lot of the people in the community noticed it last year when there were campers, mostly related to Patton Middle School.
Okay.
So along McDaniel Lane, in the path of the students as they go to school. It's not the only location. We also have Bakerfield, some around the old district office, but that's the one that's the most visible. There was lots of concern by myself, people within our core task force and the community, concerned about what's going to happen to the kids on the way to the school, who are the people that are in the campers. Nothing happened last year, and then through the summer there was still some there, and it grew. And that is when we as a task force knew that we needed to step up and try to do something before school started. That was our hope.
So you say we as a task force, were you the one
Yes.
to initiate the McMinnville Community Task Force, or was it a group of folks that had similar thoughts and a conversation? How did that come about?
Well, it came about last November, December, when my husband and I's business, we were victims of vandalism. We had gas stolen out of our company vehicles night after night. The final straw was after multiple fires at one of our commercial buildings. And I'd had enough. Our community was in danger, I would say, because there's a lot of vandalism. And so instead of just complaining and being frustrated, I said, I'm going to try to do something. So I posted it on Facebook, all the issues that we had. And I decided to write a letter to City Council. And within a week and a half, I had people reaching out to me and said, I saw your pictures. We want to help. What can we do? So I said, well, you can sign on to my letter if you want. And within that week and a half, I had 300 people signed to the letter. We went to City Council, and 5 people besides Mike and I spoke to City Council and explained our frustration, our need to do something, and asked for the city's support in forming a task force to look at the situation.
How much support did they give, or did they give you any support? And in what form did it come, if it did?
Well, I found out through some other sources that our mayor was going to address it at a February city council meeting. So I made sure and attended that. And she stated that she supported the task force and would provide enforcement to the fullest for camping, enforcement, and an officer assigned to that. She would also give us a place to meet at a city building, and just some support, and a council person would be assigned to our task force.
Wow. Which council person was that?
That was Zach Gary.
Oh, Zach Gary. So,
yes.
And that was several months ago. Between then and now, how's it going?
Well, Zach Gary is no longer on our task force.
Okay.
The mayor pulled him off of it a couple months ago. And so we do have another council person there, but in a personal role, not as a counselor. And it's a struggle at times to work with our leadership, but we're definitely trying. We would love to work together, and I think we have the goal of the city, the best of the city in mind. All of us do, but we just have to figure out, I think, a better way to accomplish that.
Is it still as bad as it was around Patton Middle School?
It ebb and flows. I think when there's complaints, it gets better, and then it gets worse. Like as of yesterday, there was only one camper over there. There is always some that are in Workman Park right on the edge there. But it'll come back. I mean, that's what happens. It's the same thing that happens on Marsh Lane and everywhere else. As for campers themselves, there are less actual physical trailer campers in town because there has been a lot more abatements. I think since we kind of started this whole task force and made people aware of what to do, but we do have some actual campers that are leaving trash that are, under tarps. And there's a lot of, I'm going to say there's a lot of bad things that happen over there. And it's very, very concerning to have children have to walk by that. I wouldn't want to walk by that every day, and there's no way they should.
Well, you had talked about maybe trying to create a certain type of striping or marking that makes it a no parking or like a bike lane. Is that still something that's
Now,
viable?
that wasn't our suggestion. That was implied in a correspondence back to us.
Okay.
But what we had asked for were safe zones around our schools. We had asked for 1,500 feet of safe zones around our school district
Okay.
property in order to give that buffer for children to get to school. If they're in middle school, if they're a mile and a half away, they have to be more than a mile and a half to get services, so buses. Otherwise, they're walking. It's a mile for grade schools. And so we had asked for that, and it's not in any marking in any way. We didn't ask for pink, sorry, breast cancer month.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, we didn't ask for yellow lines, so there was no marking that was going to happen. It's more of this is the way it is. You explain that to the transients that are around there and enforce it. But no parking and not yellow. I mean, it's a baseball field over there. We need to make sure that those students that are participating in great activities have the ability to do that and their parents be able to come watch.
It looked like you had done some research with quite a few other school districts that have declared safe zones.
Mm-hmm.
Are we still kind of making progress on having that around the school, or is that stopping?
At this point, it's in the hands of the school district and our
Oh, okay.
mayor. So we have given the information. One of our core task force members did a ton of research in regards to the laws and how it still is, it's legal to have them. And the list of towns, I think there was over 20 of them that have safe zones around the schools. My husband and I went and visited quite a few of those towns to see, is there anything posted? No, it is just there. It's a law, it's an ordinance. It doesn't have to be physically posted. We went to city council and asked the mayor for it. We sent a letter. We didn't get anywhere, and we asked that they would work with the school district, and they are. So Debbie Brockett, the school superintendent, and we've talked to Jason Pizan, who is our chairman of the school, and they're working with Mayor Drabkin to try to come up with some solutions. I requested to know what those solutions were last week, and they're not prepared to share those yet. So hopefully we will get those very soon because it is October, where we still have kids walking to school. So I'm hoping to know them soon, and I'm hoping they come up with some realistic solutions.
That's awesome to hear about that progress. I know that it's way beyond schools that is the focus of the task force. How would you describe the task force's overall view and plan and goal?
So we kind of do three things. So I got to make sure that I have you this. So we try to educate, communicate, and facilitate is kind of the plan. So we want to educate the community. I think a lot of people in the community didn't have a place to ask questions, to find out what to do. If a camper's in front of my house, if I have someone steal from me, what do I do? So we're educating the community on what they can do. We send out flyers and pass those around, put them on our Facebook page. It has about 2,000 people as to what number to call and when to call, how to tag, how campers are tagged. We also facilitate meetings. I just recently worked with another core member to work with PD, code compliance, and the owners of some property that are acreage that are full of transients, and we're trying to clear that out and make it safe again. So we're working on that, facilitating that. And we totally support police law enforcement. That's our goal. It's just we want to be fair to those that are hardworking, that are being the victims, and work together. Again, we'd like to work together with the city and the county to make that happen.
It sounds like your big goal is safety and making
Yeah,
the community still livable and pleasant for the folks that live here.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I've lived here my entire life. I'm not willing to just sit back and watch it have the issues that we're having. And I know people, there's a lot in the state as well as just McMinnville, but why not fight to try to do everything we can to not get to the point of a Portland or a more metro area?
Well, how can people help you with this and other topics that you're working on? Is it mostly through the Facebook, or does it go beyond that?
Well, we have a core group of it varies anywhere from 23 to 25 people that meet monthly, and we work on our topics and what we're going to do. But we communicate almost everything through the Facebook page. That's the broadest way for us to communicate. And what people can do is, number one, be aware of what's around you. If you see something, say something. Know the numbers to call. Don't just turn your head. Turning your head and ignoring it is enabling it. Talking, knowing, I think we've kind of helped people understand how they can talk to city council, how they can reach out to other agencies. We've talked to YCAP. We've gone through not just the law enforcement part, but we've talked to YCAP. We've talked to mental health. We've gone through the sheriff's department, parole and probation. So we try to understand and educate. In turn, that will help the community understand what to do.
For sure. It's a big task. And I'm glad to hear that you weren't just looking at arrests or removals, but
No.
trying to see what else is happening with YCAP and the Project Turnkey and the new low barrier facility that's being...
Navigation Center?
Yes, the Navigation Center, and just mental health in general. This topic will continue to come up because there are circumstances in our country and in our state that are actually, I think, leading to an increase in this, and it's a big one. But for what you're doing, and I'm so thankful, I just encourage everybody to participate and get involved. If it really is so much better to do something, in my mind, that's why I'm doing this show, than to sit back and just complain or turn away. So,
absolutely. Yep. Yeah, I agree.
Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you the best.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, of liberty and justice for all.
All right, buddy.